going to start building up a basic part of our website where we're just going to look at using shapes and so forth. In future videos we are going to add some text in, but we are going to take it a step at a time. So there's a few things to look at with this software. It's a lovely, easy to use piece of software, and there's a limited number of tools here. We're not going to add any plugins in at the moment. We're just going to keep it to its basics. Now on the side here you have a number of tools. You've got some shape tools, you've got line tools, you've got drawing tools, you've also got a text tool there as well, and underneath you've got artboard tools and zoom tools. But most of these you're not going to need, but we are going to use some of the basic shapes now to get going. Now you'll notice at the top there the name of the page is just called Web 1920-1. If you double click on that name, you can then rename it. So this is going to be my home page, and if you just name it, press enter, that renames the page. Now by default you can see it's a rectangle. We are going to extend this page in a bit, and I'll show you how to do that. But first thing we need to do is we are going to add in some shapes as a background. So if I click on the shape tool here, which is there, and simply draw, what I'm doing there now is I'm drawing a rectangle, and one thing you'll notice is the outline will appear and you'll see there's nothing inside. Now on the right hand side here you'll notice there are some tools under appearance, and we can change the fill and we can change the border by clicking in this option here and choosing a color. And as you can see with the color picker, I can choose a color. Now as this is a basic design and we are prototyping, I'm going to ask you to keep all of the colors to one shade. So I'm going to choose shades of grey on this one, but if you are choosing red as an example, choose shades of red or white or whatever you need to do. Just make sure you stick, for the basic one, just stick to one single color. Now if you wanted to change the border color, click on it and you can change it lighter, darker, or if you want to remove the border entirely, remove the tick from that, and that gets rid of the line going around. You can also increase the border by changing the size of it. So if I just increase this from 1 to 20, just as an example, you can see now that's put a really thick border around there. But obviously if you don't need it, you can either leave it at its default value or you can take it off there as well. You might notice there are these drag handles in the corners of this rectangle. What these drag handles do is they allow you to basically reshape the size, and they take the corners in, so they round the corners for you. In addition, you might notice there are some tools here on the bottom. Some of these tools are very useful, especially if you are doing lines, and what they will allow you to do is they will allow you to put different line styles on depending on what you are creating. Now for this first part I'm just going to add in a shape like this, and I'm going then to just extend it a little bit. Now my main body of text is probably going to go here somewhere, and what I'm going to do is just use another tool here. So I'm just going to go back to my shape tool and I'm going to drag that. Now you'll notice a few things with this. I've just gone off the side of the page. That's fine. I'm going to click on the tool here, the move tool, and I'm just going to double click on the background, and you'll notice now it's selectable. And what this allows me to do is drag this down, and you'll notice something now has just appeared, a dotted line. That dotted line shows you where the page is ending, and anything then from here on is going to be available, but you'll have to scroll for it. Let me just give you a quick demonstration of this. To preview the site, click on the play button on the top, and you'll notice now at the moment I have my rectangle at the top there for the banner, and I've just got that big shape that I've put in. And if I scroll with the mouse, you can see as I go down, the page will also scroll with me. Now I'm going to put a footer at the bottom as well, so I'm going to use another shape here. Just click in this shape, and we're then going to draw that on the bottom, and I'm going to also choose a fill color. Now if you wanted to get the exact same shade that you've already chosen, you can use the Doppler, and you can just click then on a color so you can get the exact shade that you wish. So in a nutshell, to add in some shapes, you can click on the shape tool and draw. You can also then add the color. You can also add borders. You can change the size of the borders. The other thing you can do, if you wanted to fade these out, so you wanted multiple shapes stacked, you can. And if you change the opacity, that's how transparent the shape is. So if you've got a number of shapes and you wanted to do some funky design with the shapes, you can do that as well.